We have Harpy Tri-Brigade for you today. That's so cool to see. We have Blue Eyes Albaz and Synchros. Let's rev it on up for those deck list. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. Hey, Wing Beast. Some more Wing Beast, sure. And then I see that we have the Fearsome Fire Blast little extender dragon in here. And our favorite part about all of this, we can tell our opponent no! Yeah, that's right. All of this little harpy stuff gets wrapped up, except for you. All right, you don't have anything to do with this. It's wrapped up with the consistency package of the Tri-Brigade stuff because, we have that synergy for, Wing Beast. And we get the chance to see this monstrosity come to life. And when I say monstrosity, yes, your opponent simply does not get the chance to play the game. You're going through these combo lines down here. You're seeing the Elegant Egotist multiplication as well. Then, of course, something like Double Dragon Lords for defensive plays. Shirog through the interruption through the one revolt. Actually, I think people have actually forgotten how to play around this card, which is beautiful. All right, if people have zero clue how to handle the revolt, you're doing fantastic. All right, like this will be the reason why you can steal games from your opponents. It's really that easy at the end of the day. So I like what I'm seeing. I also like the fact we have Chaos Hunter in here as well, kind of helping this deck out in a lot of its, I guess, crazier little points. And I see that we're also side decking Change of Heart and Mind Control. So you have multiple ways to take care of threats that your opponent might have. I also love the fact with both of these. Feel free to use their effects to your heart's desires, Yugi boy. Outside of that, build feels fine. Your goal is you're going to see this card. Like, you see this card, you're probably going to get the chance to steal the game away from your opponent. Good stuff. Next up here. Well, this is the first thing that draws my attention into this is, who needs a gimmick puppet plant? Not me, when I can play Jowgen the Spiritualist. And, clear off free special summons. Okay, easy enough. I also see that our friend Mr. Blue Eyes Jet Dragon, along with the actual Blue Eyes, are seeing play in here. And I also love the fact that we have all of the little fusions in here. Like, we have the Tyrant Dragon, we have the Ultimate, and we also have the Dragon Master Knight in here as well. Realistically, you're not gonna, shouldn't be seeing these, but I guess, in some world where, you can go ahead and, I guess, see this, then sure. I think it's interesting just to see the ideas of the Blue Eyes players that do function out here on the concept of this deck. And it's not like the branded Albaz deck with Blue Eyes is something new. This has been floating around for probably over half a year to a year now since Albaz has been floating around here. It's just, the success rate of the deck feels a little bit lower than it actually should be. And that's fine, all right? Once again, this build feels more like a gimmick than anything, but that's not a bad thing, all right? You gotta remember, players out here look at these types of decks, and they want to have fun in the game, all right? So you gotta kind of balance things out here. And also see, holy moly, they were boarding in the hand traps, man. Like, I don't know what terrible matchup ruined this duelist day, but if their hand trap spread is this aggressive that they are worried about that much, like, insane. Okay, I guess I'll take that, sure. Next up here is our Yusei Fudo Synchro Turbo deck. Now, I'm going to be honest with you here. We've seen so much of this deck actually showing up. People want to mess around with the synchro good stuff. My only complaint about this deck is the combo lines get a little bit convoluted, and you do see some little crazy things happen out here, but that's fine, all right? It just means that somebody's messed around with something that's going to be kind of cool at the end of the day. So You do see, of course, we are playing the Horus package in here. Actually, the Horus package is playing all of the names. So I guess that's also for the extra discard fodder to kind of help along with the way. Also, I mean, these are stepping stones to get to your higher level synchros if need be. I also see we are playing the Psychic End Punisher. You know, if you are playing a terrible game out here and you are behind, Psychic End Punisher is here to help you. Alright? And that's the one thing I will say about these Synchro Turbo decks is, you know, no matter how far behind you get or no matter how bad the situation is, you know, you can call our friend Psychic End Punisher up and he's probably going to come down and help you out. Like, that's the craziness that you get with this deck. So, I like what I'm seeing. It definitely shows that, you know, the psychic decks, the Synchro Turbo piles are alive. Especially 52 might feel a little bit weird, especially, you know, when you got Solemn Judgments here in the main, but if you really wanted to, you could push the Solemns down to the side, you could play 49. You know, you've always got room for things that you can mess around with in these builds, but 52, slam 8 more cards in here, and you got the ideal 60 card pile for the Synchro deck. Probably shouldn't do that, but, you know, hey, who am I to go, hey, you know, maybe your ratios aren't the craziest thing in the world. Next up here, oh, baby, Plunder Runic. Now, I do want to preface this here. As of recently, regular Plunder has been more successful than this version of the deck, all right? But that doesn't mean with how the game shifts bi-weekly at this point in time that this build suddenly isn't better than the other. It's just, I feel like it's been a little while since we've seen the Runic good stuff with this build actually doing its thing. Now, I do see that we are playing evenlies in here. You do want to make sure that you have ways to kind of help out in the worst matchups, especially when you can slam down, go, hey, I'm going second now, and steal that away from your opponent. It does make that much of a difference at the end of this. I also see that we're side decking a Sprint down here. Well, you know, you're not exactly hard at making Link 2s. You know, it's just one of those situations. It's like, all right, time in the round. Did I board in the Sprindy Windy? Post side decking, I see that we have Lava Golems, we have Spooky Dogwoods, we have Drolls, and we also have Crows in here. Their main deck hand traps are kind of interesting too. I mean, we're on double Nibiru, double Imperm, which is cool, and then I see that we have, you know, once again, this evenly interchangeable as need be. And the fact we also have droplets in here, this build is very oriented, and I feel like wanting to slam blind going second. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe there is a little bit more to this, but this deck feels very aggressive at the going second game to make sure that, you know, you can get things going extremely easily. But outside of that, the Plunder lines help this deck out really, really easily, especially the little stupid things you can do with Lice. But it's always been one of the more interesting little concepts for this. For High Runic is definitely dead at this point, so I guess this is the next version to see. Stick around. Hey! It's Heroes! Ah, finally! We're not doing really cheesy, you know, things with this. We're down to earth with a build. And somebody got the deck down to 40 cards. I swear, some of these hero builds out here, people looking around, they're like, I'm gonna play 45, 50. It's cool that you can find this wider range of cards to fit into the deck, but I feel like you're just hurting the deck. Now, one thing that hurts me about this profile was we did not have a side deck for this. I would have liked to have seen the ideas that we're doing with such a straightforward hero list. What are we boarding in? Obviously Nibiru's, you know, things of that nature. You know, maybe crossouts? I don't know if this build really cares too much about crossouts, because, I mean, we have no hand traps in here whatsoever. Alright, like, we're relying on Super Poly to be our hand trap and talents, which tells me this deck is going to have an incredibly terrible time dealing with some of the things that you know, you typically would be dealing with, of course, with the meta. So take that with what you will. I will say that it's a little bit of a bumpy ride, but, well, I guess it's to be expected. So what do you guys think about these decks? Definitely an interesting wide array of things going for us today. That's for sure. So please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I look forward to seeing some more of these little crazy ideas coming to fruition. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.